guys, Jonah here, back with another beer review. I don't know if you can hear the background because I'm not sure how good this microphone is, but we've got lots of children playing in the summer sun. It's finally here, really nice day today, and yeah, it's kind of nice in a weird way to hear, small children, well, shouting and screaming and crying, and it gets annoying after a while, but hey, you know how we roll. Anyway, I've got some beers that aren't from the Beer 52 for a change, and I managed to pick one of these up. Uh, Burning Sky, a really good brewery, and it's the Arise Pale Ale. I thought I tried this before in the pub, but no, I haven't apparently, according to Untapped, unless I was very, very drunk, which does happen sometimes. It is 4.4 on the ABV. We've got barley, we've got wheat in there. Doesn't look like we've got any oats in there. And we've got some kind of weird sort of stuff in there. UK or EU addresses in Paris, suitable for vegans. But these guys are from BN. Brighton, is that? I can't read what the address is. Burning Sky Referral, BN8. Somewhere near Brighton anyway. And it says Arise is brewed with Pilsner even, wheat malts, backed up with a huge charge of Citra, Centennial and Amarillo to give big peach, pine and resinous aromas. But it's sessionable, perfect at any time of the day. And as you can see, there are lots of sort of people. They look like they're at some sort of festival, perhaps. Some sort of weird punky people and some sort of other, I don't know, hipstery weird type of people. But yeah, I quite like that. Like the colours as well, the leaves and the hops and stuff around here. It is all good. And yeah, later on this evening, being as it's Wednesday, I'm going to be on a call with the Kent. Wow, it was going so well. I don't know if you could see that, but it literally exploded. And this has been in the fridge for at least a day and a half. Better get it in a glass, eh? My God. Wow, that is a very lively beer and no mistake. Let us see what we get. Wow, that is borderline ridiculous. Been a while since I've had one of those. Been a while since I've had anything gushing on my trousers. Right, let's put that there. Let's do a silly face. Come on, you've seen that already. Right, let me put that up there. Wow, it is proper hoppy too. It was pouring a little bit hazy, but now it's gone really hazy. So I think there's some sediment in there. We are talking under half a finger's head. It is fast disappearing, which is unusual considering it kind of exploded out of the can. But that's the reality of drinking beer. Sometimes, pardon me, sometimes you get beer on your trousers or your skirt or on yourself. I try, yeah, I try to keep my beers cool, and that generally prevents them exploding. But in this case, it did not work. So never mind. I managed not to spill it on the floor. So at least I'll get bonus points from later on. What was I saying? Yes, tonight I'm going to be sitting in on the Kent County Beer Tasters meeting, which is going to be interesting. See what they say for themselves. There's a lot of weird things coming up because it's green hop time. So all the hops, I can see them all coming down. They've all sort of started coming down already. So the hop harvest is well underway. A little bit early. Last year it was a little bit late, but this year it's early. Not sure why that is. I think it's because June was quite warm It wasn't hugely sunny, although there were some lovely sunny days, but the temperature's been really high. So I think that's why the hops have bloomed early in Kent, which, as we all know, is the traditional home of things like East Kent Goldings and Bramling Cross and weird things like that. Um, so the green hops are being brewed. The local breweries, I've seen there's a Gads one definitely going ahead. There is a North Down, which is my side of Kent as well. I think there's a Wonson one as well. Going to be some fantastic beers in the offing. That's all I know. And we're off to Hookins Hops, which is a hop farm, but it's also where McCann's Brewery and Angels and Demons are based. And that's yeah, that's next month as well. So September's really, really good for beers. So yeah, who knows how many beers I'll have. I've been doing all right. My average is more than one beer a day through August, which is pretty good usually. And that's even when you consider I did not go to the GBBF because of yeah personal reasons. Which, if you're a friend of me on Facebook, you'll already know. But yeah, we had death in the family, so yeah, not good at all. And I haven't done a video about that, but I might do. Anyway, let's dive into this beer. So it smells a bit yeasty, and we've definitely got the kind of citrus and pine. Pine, I would say that. I love that. But yeah, there's something else there too, which this kind of zesty kind of thing. It always reminds me kind of a kind of wit beer type yeast. I'm not saying that's what they use in here, but it kind of gives off these kind of reasonably specific esters and stuff in the yeast. Shamal. Let's see what we get. Cheers and beers to you guys. Hopefully you're having a wonderful Wednesday and we'll drink some beer. Oh, yeah, this is very much lager like because it's very clean, it's crisp, um, quite watery in the mouth. The mouthfeel is not very unctuous. It's very straightforward. Although it's got wheat in. Um, Maybe that's why I'm thinking it's like a wit beer because it's got the wheat in it too. Anyway, um, there is even a very, very small tide line, which will probably fast disappear, but it's good to see anyway, which is cool. The only down thing is a downside because it's so lager-like and because it's been in the fridge and it's super cold. I don't think I'm going to be able to drink it really quickly. And because this can was a 440 ml can, almost a pint, but not quite. Yeah, a bit more beer to drink as well. Lucky it's only 4.5, eh? Whoa. Right, there's a second tide line there. Um, yeah, I'm getting a lot of citrus. I'm also getting a kind of grapefruity thing. Um, there's hedgerow there too, and a little bit of kind of juiciness. So there's a little bit of everything, but it's all really light. Um, it's not an absolute hop monster, um, but if anything, I'd say that kind of pithiness, that kind of zesty citrus. They said peach, but I'm thinking more kind of grapefruity type thing. Um, yeah, I'm looking for that marmalade stuff, which I usually get with kind of Amarillo. Uh, but yeah, not so much. Zesty, yes. Citrus, yes. Pine, yes. Greenery, but everything else is kind of in the background. Wow, that's what happens when you drink quickly. Um, And it's also what happens when you cool a beer down. The carbonation is supposed to go into suspension in the liquid. And as we saw, that doesn't always happen. Um, but yeah, that means I'm going to belch a bit more. I apologise, dear viewer. Oh, and by the way, if you want to say cheers to me about making a nice beer review for you guys to watch, please think about clicking like and subscribe down below. If you haven't done already, joining the John Army, we're on our way to drinking beer. So cheers to you guys. Now, the other interesting thing, and I'm pretty sure it says on here, yes, look under the word arise with those two lovers sharing a beer under a cheeky thing with one guy that looks a bit like Axl Rose with his weird sort of skull cap on and a lovely young lady. Actually, she's got a sort of sleeveless denim jacket with patches and weirdness on. Anyway, look at that word, arise pale ale. So this is not claiming to be an IPA. If anything, this is going to be an American style pale ale, and a very nice one too. Yeah, it's definitely citrus. Sorry, citra, as in the hops. If you want to know what citra tastes like, this is a good example because it gives you that kind of. It definitely gives you that pine, that kind of greenness, but it also gives some other weird flavors, and they're just extenuated by the Centennial, also known as Super Cascade, which I've talked about before, um, which is now not so much of a new school hop. It's quite old school. It's at least 10, maybe 15 years old Centennial, but it's one of my absolute favourite hops. And Amarillo as well is also a traditional staple in the beer world, but definitely kind of new style American pale ale. It's not New World, so this is not a hazy IPA by any means. It's definitely a pale ale, but a very nice one. Yeah, yeah, really nice beer. A little bit of sweetness going there to counteract the bitterness there, but that was the Burning Sky Arise beer, or pale ale, I should say. Absolutely fantastic beer. Um, if you can find one of these, why not get one? And I believe that I purchased that in Marks and Spencer, so it was a tiny bit more expensive, but I think it was on offer. If you're in Marks and Spencer, you look for those red tabs, those red tickets that say reduced, and I think that's why I picked this one up. Let me see if it's got a date on it. It does over here. Uh, do best before. Oh, best before April. Wow. So maybe that's why it exploded on me. Teach me to sit on a beer for too long. That's what happens. It will ferment extra in the can and then it will explode all over your trousers. Anyway, dear viewer, remember, please, while the sun is shining and the weather is hot, why don't you drink some lovely, wonderful beer? And we'll be back for more beer reviews real soon.